and good evening, viewers and listeners. Welcome to INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio. I'm Eva, joining you live from Hamburg, Germany, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today. The time now is 7:01 p.m. Central European Time, and we have an exciting episode lined up for you. Our topic today is Tech and Passion, Trends and Career Paths in 2024. We'll dive into the fascinating tech trends of this year, explore how technology is shaping our passions, and discuss ways to balance career growth with personal goals. So, whether you're watching from home, on the road, or tuning in from anywhere around the globe, stay with us from for an inspiring and insightful conversation. Let's get started to introduce our amazing guest for tonight. For that, we go to the local of Bonn. Good evening. Kindly also introduce you with what you are working in or what field and how long.
Thank you, Eva. My name is Randy, and I am from the local of Bonn. I work for a global logistics organization as a senior expert in digital learning, and I've been on the profession for 18 years.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Randy.
Thank
And
you.
now let's move closer to the mountains, to the local of Heidelberg. Good evening, Henry.
How's it? Good evening, everyone. My name is Henry. I work for a technology support organization. I've been working in the field of IT for 15, maybe close to 20 years now. I've, although I have an English degree, my career is in IT, and we can get more into that as our conversation goes along. Thank you all for tuning into our conversation this evening.
Looking forward to also to your advices and experiences. And as well with us is Mark. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Ava. Hello, Randy, Henry. Good to be here. I'm over here in Stuttgart. Been working in the cybersecurity career field for maybe about 13 years. A really long time, too long actually. No, but yeah. So excited to be here, talk about tech and passion. So look forward to the conversation.
Thank you also so much for joining us tonight. Now, before we get into the heart of our discussion, let's warm things up with a quick icebreaker game to get to know our guest a little better. And the game is Never Have I Ever. Here's how it works. Korea Tech will show us statements on our screen, starting with Never Have I Ever. And if you've done it, kindly raise your hand and feel free to share a quick story about it. All right, let's begin with the first statement, which would be Never have I ever attended a tech conference or industry event to network and learn about the latest trends. So, who among you have done that before? Oh, oh, more Henry, yeah. Okay, who wants to share a story? Please just unmute yourself. Okay.
So I attended for free stuff. They give a lot of free stuff at these conferences. Um, of course, you say hi to people, you make friends, you can make conversations. But I came out with at least 3 bags of cup holders and pens and what do you call the lanyards for your keys and all these paperweights and paper clip holders and nice magnets. Um, did I network? Yes, I did network, but I don't remember who they are anymore.
Well, at least you do have some souvenirs from that conferences. Just let me know when the next conference is so I can also try that one for the free stuff. No. But all right, let's move on to the next statement. Okay, Kuyatek, the next statement will be Never have I ever used social media to connect with professionals or potential job candidates. So who among have done that? Mark was really quick in raising his hand.
Yeah, I would say social media is definitely a great tool. I've joined several social media groups that kind of those in the same career field. So it's good to, even if I'm not, maybe if I'm just observing, not really participating in the conversation, but just reading. So it's good to keep tabs of going on in the career field, what kind of discussions and latest trends there are. And then I could just kind of pick and choose like the conversations that either I want to look at what the comments are, or just like, oh, that's interesting that that's kind of the latest discussion nowadays.
Thank you for sharing that short insight, Mark. And also, in regards of that, the next statement is fitting to that. Kuya Tek, let's kindly show the next statement, which will be: Never have I ever participated in a virtual team building activity with colleagues from different locations. So, who among did that before?
I would say I raise my hand, and I think this is my bread and butter. This is how I earn a living. That through virtual workshops, virtual team buildings, virtual training, and virtual meetings. I talk to a lot of people from around the world, from different time zones. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to some other team building activities. So, but nevertheless, we are gonna move on to the next statement. Thank you so much, Randy, for sharing your insight on that. Never have I ever recommended a tech gadget or tool to a friend or colleague because I was passionate about it. Yes.
Okay, so oh my goodness. So what happens is every time I play with artificial intelligence, I always message brother Mark as like, "Hey, have you guys tried this yet? I made a coloring book for my kids so that I don't have to go to the store and buy a coloring book anymore. I asked the artificial intelligence to make me coloring book pages for my daughter." And, they said, "Oh yeah, yeah, we'll try that. We'll try." So I sent brother Mark and his wife sister Trisha a lot of messages about like, "Oh, I did this with the artificial intelligence. Oh, you guys should try this. You should try that. Oh, I let it make music for my kids." So I'm that guy. Every time who finds something, who discovers something, I always want to share it with them.
Yeah, I would say in response to that, one of the tech things that we do is a to do list. So we add that to the to do list every time Henry messaged me like, "Hey, you should use artificial intelligence." That it's on our to do list. We haven't gotten to it yet. We're getting there, but yeah, definitely. We always we message quite frequently, me and Henry, so it's nice.
Okay, so to summarize it, Henry is the one go to if you have any questions about tools and artificial intelligence. Okay, dear viewers and listeners, if anything, Henry is your person.
Now I know.
Very good. All right, now let's move on. Jump into the heart of today's topic. It's nice to also have heard some experiences of yours already, but nonetheless, I'd like to ask Randy, what's a tech trend in 2024 that really amazed or changed your life?
Yeah. So as a digital learning professional, I have a L&D perspective on the topic. And when it comes to digital learning, so the trends that are very evident in the industry right now are the innovations and advancement in digital learning platforms. So now, rather than you finding the content yourself, there are some innovations that happens at the back end that would enable you to get recommendations. So this is rather more of a push content to you rather than you pulling content based on um, the kind of learning subjects that you're interested, and the kind of duration, how long do you stay on the platform, what are your learning styles, whether you watch videos more or you read materials more. So there's some intelligence that has happened, along the way from 5 years ago to now, that made learning a lot more fun. So that's one. Number two is evolving learning modalities. So in the past, we're very used to 30-minute e-learning. Now we have more variety. So we have more micro learning video based content. We have augmented reality. We have gamified content right now. We have expanded reality, and but still having the benefits of the great technology that has been there. Now, so we've really enriched, the learning styles to cover the different learning preferences. So it's a good time for learning.
That's really true. For my experience as well, I'm a working student who was actually studying everything online. It's a really nice way on how micro learning gets more involved because evolved because let's be honest, there's a lot of information that you really need to intake within the studies. Even it might it be just starting from the schools or even high schools to university or even in the professional way. So I want to ask you, Randy, why is it so important that the technology is always evolving, especially when it comes to micro learning?
There are many forces that drives the evolution of technology on a learning space. One that jumps out of my head is the evolving workforce. Now let me state this in a I would say corporate learning perspective. you know. Right now, as I speak, there are five generations working in our organization. We have baby boomers up until Generation Z. And there are preferences, no, how they would like to learn. There are those who are very comfortable with classroom setup, and that's perfectly fine. But then there are some who are okay also with virtual instructor led learning setup. That's also fine. But then there are the more independent learners. Let me do it on my own. I do not need an instructor, so I do it an e-learning. And then here the new modalities come in now. So this is one example of what's shaping the innovation. Another factor that shapes the trend in learning is the mobility part of it. No? There are people who would like to attend on seminars, let's say on this country or in that country, but due to budget restrictions, due to some factors that prevent them from traveling, now they are more acceptable, they are more tolerant to more virtual kind of training. So this is another trend that's shaping that. And then number three is the attention span. In the past, we're all very okay to sit down with 1 hour, 2 hours of learning, but now time's become a constraint. So now learning has become shorter, attention span has become shorter. So these are, three examples of how, events that has happened as a result of the globalization, digitalization has also shaped how learning is evolving.
Well, thank you so much for those insights because those insights are really also adaptable to ourselves because some of us are maybe even advancing their learning in a way of they want to get a higher position in their work. And of course, they also need to get that special learning or even knowledge for that position. But I want to know, Randy, since you've mentioned it more on a professional way, is there something perhaps that has impacted you personally in regards of micro learning?
Micro learning, quite a lot. Apart from the subject or topics that are useful for me, so that I become relevant in the role that I do, so that I always, I would like to consider myself as a thought leader in the profession that I'm in. But likewise, I have a hobby, I have a passion alongside my work. I also enjoy, one of the many things is photography, where I would still like to keep myself updated to what are the things that are shaping the photography as an industry, as a hobby. And I use micro learning for this. So there are um, mini video tutorials, for example, as Henry and then Mark mentioned a while back. You can make use of AI to get some insights as well. What is AI telling when it comes to simplifying and making things a lot better on a photography perspective. Yeah, so yeah, that's one example.
Well, that's really interesting in a way of we are always continuing to learn. And speaking of continuously learning, Henry is actually in the field of artificial intelligence. So, Henry, what is one tech trend in 2024 that really amazed or changed your life?
So in my line of work, I do a lot of technical support, and in it now we're integrating artificial intelligence to provide that support. And so solutions that can really take or used to take a lot of time to like research and to develop a, for example, a script or a series of code to fix a problem or a bug. I can actually ask the artificial intelligence to do that for me. I can ask it, oh, this is the problem that we're having with these applications. What is the fastest way for me to solve this problem? Can you put it in the format of this code? And then it spits out the code for me. And all I have to do now is copy, paste, execute, problem solve, not just for one person, not just for five people, hundreds of people. It can solve a problem on a much quicker scale. And all of this can take place in the matter of 30 minutes. And so that's how quickly artificial intelligence has been adopted into the way that I work. And it saves us a lot of time. I can focus on other more important tasks and projects and priorities. And with for my career field, we have to solve a lot of problems, and to be able to fix a problem in a much quicker rate with the help of something that can be solved by a computer itself or by a program of artificial intelligence. um, it's really amazing, and really still trying to explore what we can do. And another example is that I'm actually using it to advance my career field. I'm using it to create study guides. I'm using it to create audio files and audio podcasts and the different learning materials that I can really expand on. Uh, the different tools that artificial intelligence is helping me to excel in my career.
Well, that sounds really interesting in regards of podcasts and doing audiobooks or even audio production. Henry, is there maybe something that you recently discovered for artificial intelligence?
So I'm glad that you brought that up because actually, Ava, that was something I recently did. All these tools exist out there, and with time, you can only play with one tool at a time. So the latest tool that I played with is a podcast tool, and what it does is you provide the information to that artificial intelligence program, and in doing so, it creates an audio podcast for you. It creates two people to start talking to each other in a conversational, it's not a robotic voice that it's talking to each other. It's actually two people that are going back and forth to each other in a conversation. And it's really interesting because I listened to it and it captured my attention. And it was, they're just talking about the things that I had uploaded. I'm studying for cloud certification. And so it talked about the different ways that you can set up virtual servers and devices on the cloud. And it was interesting. So now my plan is during my lunch break tomorrow, I will be I'll be listening to that podcast. And it's really based on the notes that I was using to study. So something as simple as uploading your notes into a program to generate an episode as if you're listening to two people talk about something interesting. That is my way of learning now. My learning has evolved to just hear people talk. Um, and that's one tool that I'm using for cloud technology. I'm also going to do the same thing for networking technology. There's just so many more things that you can do with it. I'm really just scratching the surface.
That's an actually good takeaway from myself in regards of studying. Uh, Perhaps I'm going to try that tool out. As we heard in the beginning, Henry is the go-to person if you need new tools to try out. But nonetheless, I want to ask Mike now, since you are in cybersecurity, is there perhaps a tech trend in 2024 that perhaps changed your life in regards your passion?
Yeah, thanks, Ava. So I would say maybe not necessarily 2024, but I would say maybe within the last 5 years of the as more companies and more businesses go more mobile and want connections to your phone, right, to make kind of your life easier. So recently, a passion of mine, whether whether I wanted it or not, has been the last couple of months I've had to travel a lot for work. And so versus kind of just using my email address or my email just to organize that, I looked into finding applications for a lot of the travel companies that I'm using, or the different airlines or the different modes of transportation, to see if they have an application that will help in my travels. And I've seen that has changed the way I've traveled, right? Within just in the last few months. Maybe before, maybe people were used to having to arrive at the airports like 4 hours before your flight to make sure that even if your flight is at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're there at the airport at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Now, you're able to check in on your phone, on your mobile device, 24 hours before your flight. You have your boarding pass already on your phone. And then when you get to the airport, you no longer have to wait in a long line because you have a boarding pass. So all you have to do is just drop off your bag and print out a little bag tag on your baggage and send it off on the machine. And somehow it ends up at your final destination. I don't know what happens. It just happens. But I would say just having applications on your phone for all of the travel companies has been a big change in the way I travel. With that said, I now have a phone full of applications now that I have to kind of monitor, right? What information I shared with those companies or with that. So a lot of travel companies or applications will ask to say, hey, we need to have your credit card information, or we need to have your phone number, right? So you need to make sure that with those, make sure you have a deliberate decision on what you're sharing with each application, because maybe you don't need to necessarily share your credit card with every single application, every single company. But that's just a way for them to have that information. But just a way to protect your information. I'll tie it back to cybersecurity, right? Is making sure that you're just making deliberate decisions on the applications that you're sharing with. So that's been the biggest thing for travel, has been the use of my mobile device during travel.
I totally agree with you, Mark, especially when it comes to our data that we are always kind of giving away somehow. Sometimes we're not even aware that we're giving out away our data. So thank you so much once again for that reminder to always be making sure that we should safe keep our data. But Mark, is there something perhaps that you have noticed in your last travels that some airlines changed in their way of perhaps entertainment?
Yeah, so I would say one of the biggest things. So I've had to actually go international a lot between different countries. I would say even over Atlantic oceans. Let's say so. I had to go back to the United States. And I would say before, when you had to go overseas, you usually had to pay a lot of money to have access even to the internet. So even now, airlines are allowing at least basic connection. So I remember back in the '90s having to, like, I don't know if you those viewers, maybe those of us that are a little bit older, every seat had a cell phone, or not even a cell phone, a phone connected to the seat. And in order for you to use it, you had to take it out from the seat and like swipe a credit card for you to call somebody in their house, like, hey, I'm on this airline and I'm gonna get there. Now, it's just basic communication of being able to, message my family, like, hey, I'm on this flight and I'm gonna arrive at this time. So the connectivity during flights has definitely been increased. And I would say even on this last trip, there's airlines that allow you to be able to connect your phone to the screen in front of you. So a lot of airlines have a TV screen or entertainment system. So now, if you have let's say you saved an episode of your favorite show or your favorite movie on your phone, and you don't want to look at this 2-inch screen right in front of you. You want a 10-inch screen in front of you, right? You're able to connect to your phone now to the airline. So it's definitely interesting how much connectivity, since we're all relying on our phones, that all these companies are now allowing access and to these phones. Yep.
Well, that's really interesting. Perhaps that will be a new tech trend for 2025. Let's see if maybe next year when we're going to be on a flight, maybe we are able to connect our phones now and watch some downloaded movies, perhaps. But good to know. So let's pinpoint Mark's passion is traveling, and I've heard that Randy's passion is photography. So Randy, what are some technology that helped you with your passion, or maybe you have noticed that goes along with your passion with photography?
Um, well, the the equipment itself is number one. No? Um, when I started, and I started not really long time ago, but during the what 2010s, no, that decade. And digital photography is starting uh, to grow as a hobby, as an industry. A gadget or a device is expensive. It costs a lot. It I would say it's not for everyone. But where we are right now, everyone has a mobile phone that takes much better quality images than the first DSLR camera that I bought. So technology has democratized photography. So that's number one. And of course, when we talk about our output, our final image, some of us want to go to the next level of how that image would look like, and especially if it is something that uh, you would like to share to social media, or something that you would like to make money out for, from as a hobby, then you would need to post process or to do some editing of those images. you know? Like 10 years ago, you have a very long workflow to reach your final output. No? And you say, this is the one, this is the image. But now, with just a click on any digital software right now that incorporates artificial intelligence, it has become so easy. And even someone who has no background for photography, yeah, can produce good quality output from that. Also, that's another. And thirdly, is because of artificial intelligence, you can create an image out of without even having a camera. You need just some smart prompts to tell AI, this is the image that I want, and there you go. And you might even have four different pictures to choose from, which one is closest to what you're looking for. But there's just so many, but this three stands out for me.
Yeah, Randy, I was gonna add on your second point for the photo editing. It's definitely, I've seen a lot of changes as well. I'm not a photographer by any means, not my hobby, but just the mobile device that I have. We can take a family picture, and then you can automatically choose, like, oh, you can take out the people in the background who are who are in your picture that you don't want there. And then so when you post it, you're like, oh, how did you take a picture of the Eiffel Tower and nobody is there, just you and your family, for example. So they made it so easy where, yeah, you could just touch on your phone and already do some photo editing. So it's kind of advanced or interesting trend that we've seen. So I agree with you, Randy.
Well, thank you so much for the both of your insights, especially when it comes to even video editing. There are some tools now that are actually going to the direction where you can let artificial intelligence just let your video editing, which is really crazy for me myself personally. But good to know also for future photo shoots in front of sites in traveling, that there are actually tools who help us, or artificial intelligent tools who help us to remove the people in the background, the so-called photo bombers. Well, thank you so much, Randy, and thank you so much, Mark, for your both insights. But speaking of artificial intelligence, since this is really a trend that is always evolving, I want to know, Henry, is there one tool or artificial intelligence that recently helped you in regards of your passion?
So my passion is curiosity and learning. Like I really just love learning anything. Like I can look at something and say, "How does that work?" And then I'll ask the artificial intelligence, "Hey, how does it work that way?" I'll give a more specific example though. Went to a restaurant with my family, and because there are certain things that just upset my stomach sometimes. It's known as acid reflux. I took a picture of the menu and I asked the artificial intelligence, uh, what can I eat so that my stomach won't get upset? I have acid reflux. And so the artificial intelligence is able to look at the picture. It can look at the text of the menu and say, you should order these foods. These foods do not have, they do not have a lot of pepper or acid. It won't make your stomach upset. You should eat more salad, other things. I asked the artificial intelligence when I went shopping for a TV. I took a picture of the two different TV models. I said, which TV should I get? Please do a comparison of the two TV models. And then it made a table, a listing of both of the TV's specifications. I was able to compare, and though I didn't buy anything that day, I was like, okay, what else? What else can I do with it? And so when I got home, and that's when I did the podcast thing that I had mentioned earlier about uploading my notes because I'm really trying to dedicate a lot of time to studying and learning. But then when it comes to the pictures, I've also played a lot of with the picture element. I miss Hawaii. Draw me a picture of everything that is good in Hawaii. And so it drew a picture of Musubi next to the beach with mountains and the ocean in the background and all the ahi poke or the fish. Um, it's just so many things that I could do with it. So my passion is just really that curiosity and figuring out what can I do with this such with an amazing tool. You know, my passion is solving problems and learning how to do new things and how to apply this to make my days easier. And so that's my fun. It can be kind of all over the place sometimes. I can really get distracted. It can really consume my time. Like I can stay up late at times and not realize, oh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to go to sleep because I'm having so much fun. But I did learn a lot that night. I really enjoyed what I was doing, and I don't play as much video games anymore because this is my new video game. This is my new hobby is trying to solve problems with this new interesting tool.
Funny story, actually. Mentioning that Henry really asked artificial intelligence to find out what on the menu card is okay for his I'm unsure how to say that. Please correct me.
It's acid reflux.
Acid reflux. Okay, okay, okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
And you don't want to have it.
yeah, for sure. We don't want to have that. That's correct, Randy. But nonetheless, I also actually saw that posting of Henry and I tried it out with my tea because I wanted to drink a tea at the evening to, get into the relaxed state. And I asked artificial intelligence, okay, which tea would be suitable for me to now get relaxed into the bedtime time now, and it actually suggested me something. So it was really fun to try it out, to learn also that that is already possible because it keeps always evolving with like a podcast, even for the photography, editing, and the traveling. There's so many things. There's also the possibility to ask artificial intelligence to do a dictionary for you. For an example, that's really fun to play around with. So I truly understand why Henry is switching from video games to artificial intelligence. And now that we've talked about microlearning, artificial intelligence, traveling, cybersecurity within, about our topic, I want to know, perhaps we can start with Henry. What advice would you give to someone who's actually scared or worried to make their passion their career?
So discovering your passion, I think, is something that takes time. It's I can only share my short story. Is that I thought my passion was to be a computer developer and programmer, and then there were nights where I would spend hours looking for a missing semicolon or a missing period or a missing character somewhere, and basically what I thought was my passion, it became too hard. So was it really my passion? Not really. And then I wanted to get into business and accounting. And after one class, I was, is this really my passion? So my passion at the time was really to just have a job that just passes time and gets through the day. I could do the same thing over and over again. Then I realized that really wasn't my passion. Um, and after some time, my passion I determined was really to. I was a problem solver. I like to solve problems. I like to. I had some jobs where I really just had to help customers fix their issues so they could go about their day and perform their function. And that's where I discovered I wanted to get into information technologies. That career field in IT support is all about solving problems. And then when you realize behind the IT world or IT industry, there is so much more interesting problems to solve. And so that's where I learned system administration, network engineering, and working in a data center. Like imagine those pictures that you see with rows and rows of cabinets of computers and servers. I used to work in that for almost 10 years, and I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. Right now, I'm working in a more tech support role, but even though the role has shifted, it's still all about problem solving. And so, I would suggest to anyone who's either listening or viewing our program right now, if you're trying to make your passion your career, try to identify what your passion is. And it may take some time. What do you think your passion is? If it got harder, if it required a lot more resources, if it had more challenges, would it still be your passion? Uh, Try to discover a lot of self-discovery in determining what your passion is. And if you can overcome the challenges that go along with learning about your passion and getting better at your hobby, if your hobby and your passion are one and the same thing, then why not give it a shot? Just try to understand all the different risks that are involved, because there are some risk in some career fields and some things to really consider to go a certain path. But it does take a lot of discovery. But with a lot of prayer, a lot of guidance from our Almighty God, um, you can start. You'll at least be able to have the confidence that your mind is in the right place. That you're trying to set yourself a career that you really are passionate about.
Thank you so much, Henry, for that advice. I will also write that behind my ear because I'm currently also in the situation to find the suitable career for myself. But nonetheless, I also want to ask Mark, do you have perhaps a advice for the viewers and listeners?
Yeah, I would say those that are hesitant about their careers and passion, or finding making their passion a career, right? So I would say I think I suggested flipping the question, right? Would you be hesitant to have a career that you're not passionate about? You'd be like, yeah, I'm very hesitant because I don't want to do something for the rest of my life that I'm not passionate about, right? So take that and take that energy and go towards your goal of being around things that you're passionate about, right? So I would say the second thing would be, try to find people that are in that career field already, right? And try to learn from them and network with them and ask them about their experiences, right? About how their day is, how whatever it is that you're passionate about, let's say for travel, right? How much do they enjoy that while they're doing their work, right? And so figuring that out, from the people that are in those careers would, I think, pay dividends to fully give you an understanding if that's something that you want to make a career. And then also, I would say, in addition to that, try to find something maybe that you have expertise in, that is around something that is traveling, right? So, let's say, for example, if, or sorry, something that is around your passion, not just traveling. Yeah, I know we all want to travel, but let's say if your passion is traveling, right? And let's say I have expertise in cybersecurity. So maybe I want to be in a find cybersecurity jobs that are around airline companies or around travel companies, right? And figuring out, so to be able to use my expertise and be around my passion might be a way to solve that and make you less hesitant in making that your career. So those are my couple things.
Thank you so much also for those advices, Mark, to really also change and reflect the perspective you're in. And of course, you also want to ask Randy, what would be your advice for the ones yeah, really taking their passion into career?
Yeah. Um, there is no one size fits all, no, to how you translate your passion into a career, and not just a career. I truly believe that you would also aspire for a successful, happy career. Yeah, because you can have a career, but sometimes you feel like why I am here. This is not my space. Right? So I would say look at three areas. What is it that's something that you truly enjoy? What is it? No, that you love doing. So but that's just one, aspect of that. Another part is, are you good at what you enjoy you're doing? So that involves an element of upskilling, looking at what are the trends and innovation around the passion or the hobby or whatever it is, though, a career. So that's that. Are you good at it? Number three, you love it, you're good at it, but does it pay you well? Because at the end of the day, a career also has some financial rewards, some financial benefits that comes alongside that, so that you are able to sustain your growth, your personal career. So having all of these three combined, looking at that sweet spot, no, where am I? So that requires some thinking, some reflection, some guidance, some prayer, I would say. No? And then you having a clear view of what that would look like for you. It's just being curious, no? So what is it, what would be, how will this career look like, feel like, smell like, taste like for me? And if I may share a personal example, so back during my studies, I thought like I would like to become an accountant feels like and looks like great. But after graduating accountancy and I worked for 1 month as an accountant, like I was asking, oh no, why am I here? This is not the space for me. And that was a difficult blow, because that's 4 years of investment, and plus you know several other things that you invest your heart and mind for, like a board exam and things like that. But then you realize, you acknowledge that this is not the space for me. Then you move on. What would be the next space? So I was curious about music. So for some reason, I was into music. So I was part of an international choir, traveling around the world, competing on, I would say, prestigious competitions in Europe. And I was happy. But then again, I felt like, oh, I'm missing something. This is, yeah, maybe, but I'm not getting the financial reward that I need at this point of my life. So again, I recalibrated, and then I end up, for some reason, moving on to another country. But to start, it's not always easy to start in another country. Sometimes you really have to work your way up. So I became a postman. I was delivering packages on 48-degree temperature, 50-degree temperature, no, for 2 years. Then I explored what is it within the organization that would, I would say, complete me, make me happy. Then I was fortunate to move into an learning and development. Then it grew from there. But one thing that's consistent is that I was asking, what's this? What's new? What's great on this career? Being curious, as mentioned by Brother Henry a while back. Yeah. And then looking at my career path, it's zigzag, no, moving on from one industry over the other, and it's very chaotic, and I call it organized chaos, because I landed on a spot where I feel like I'm happy, and I was able to build and sustain a good life around it. I was able to build a family, I was able to serve more. So I think that was a career path. It's not the same for everybody. That's why I say it's trial and error, no? What you make mistakes, but you learn from mistakes, and technology comes alongside that. But do not let technology define you. You define technology. How will technology work for me? So I think this is, a few bits and pieces from me. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for also sharing your experience. And to really round it up, it's about reflecting to see what you want to do, to see what you like, what to see what you like to taste, as Randy mentioned, to really go in with all your yeah, with whatever you see and hear and feel like. And most especially, it's about trusting in the Lord God, because He will be the one who will really guide us. And yeah, I think that has been really a good conversation tonight. And of course, we also got some comments that we want to read before we go into our station break. Because from Sister Linda Calvello, I remember my dad who used to teach me about photography using the old camera, even how to develop the pictures in a dark room. Hashtag Berlin, hashtag Weissen. So really, we can see on how fast actually, and also on how far the technology really evolved and helped us in some things that we do in our personal life, in our professional life, and that we also learned throughout this conversation. But of course, we had also some comments from Annalyn Lehman. Very informative, helpful topic for today. Thank you. Hashtag Billion, hashtag Myson. And then from Liberty Belen, interesting discussion from our speaker. So really, our dear listeners and viewers, like this conversation. And ending with that good note, we would like to ask you, Tech, please show us the station break.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Ready to discover your new favorite INC original music? Introducing Playlist. Tune in every Monday to Friday from 9 to 10 p.m. for a musical journey like no other. Genres like R&B, acoustic, alternative, love songs, rock, pop, hip-hop, and rap. Each day brings you a different genre of INC original music tailored to match your mood. Looking for the perfect soundtrack to your day? We've got you covered. Join our hosts as they bring you the freshest hits, timeless classics, and everything in between. Catch Playlist live on INC Radio DZM 954 kHz, on the INC Radio YouTube channel, and on the INC Production Company's Facebook page. Set your reminders, spread the word, and don't miss a bit with Playlist. And remember, it's your music, your playlist. See you there!
Welcome back to INC Radio Central Europe Satellite Studio. It is currently 7:48 p.m. Central European Time, and we've talked about the topic Tech and Passion Trends and Career Paths in 2024. If you have missed the conversational part, don't worry. After this live broadcast, it will be uploaded on INC Radio DZM 954. And you can rewatch and also leave your comments and perhaps any questions that you like to have answered afterwards. But of course, as we have learned, we are always into micro learning, also in continuously learning, as artificial intelligence is. But since we also want to learn a bit more about German, here we have our German is Fun. Deutsch macht Spaß von Kamalu.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Hello everyone. Hallo zusammen. Welcome to German is fun. Willkommen zu Deutsch macht Spaß. It's been Schwester Malu Francisco bringing you another episode of Learning Basic German. Today, we'll learn some words and expressions in German related to geographical directions or cardinal directions, or simply called locations. Auf Deutsch, Himmelsrichtungen. I'll say the 4 cardinal directions or geographical locations in German. First, in English. North, der Norden, der Norden. South, der Süden, Süden. East, der Osten, der Osten. West, der Westen, der Westen. Once again in German, Norden, Süden, Osten, Westen. German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. On the screen is the map of Germany, the Deutschlandkarte. We'll try to locate 4 cities of Germany, namely the port city of Hamburg, the capital city of the Federal Republic of Germany, Berlin, the famous city of Munich in German, München, and the United Nations city of Germany, Bonn. So we ask, where is Hamburg? Wo ist Hamburg? Hamburg is in the north of Germany. Hamburg ist im Norden von Deutschland. Hamburg ist im Norden von Deutschland. And where is Munich? Wo ist München? Munich is in the south of Germany. München ist im Süden von Deutschland. München ist im Süden von Deutschland. Where is Berlin? Wo ist Berlin? Berlin is in the east of Germany. Berlin ist im Osten von Deutschland. Berlin ist im Osten von Deutschland. And where is Bonn? Wo ist Bonn? Bonn ist in the west of Germany. Bonn ist im Westen von Deutschland. Bonn ist im Westen von Deutschland. Once again, our words and phrases that we learned today. North, der Norden. South, der Süden. East, der Osten. West, der Westen. In the north, im Norden. In the south, im Süden. In the east, im Osten. In the west, im Westen. Well done. Sehr gut. German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. This has been today's episode of German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Thank you so much for joining me. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ich bin Schwester Malu Francisco. Tschüss. German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
Thank you so much, Kamalu, for always bringing out an amazing and interesting German is Fun segment for our INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio. Greetings to you. I saw you already in the comment section or in the live chat. Hopefully you're doing well, and hopefully we can see you soon again. And of course, we are also not forgetting about the activeness of our district. CEU in action will be shown now. Okay, Kuya Tech, if you can kindly show us the first slide. Of course, we have also our brethren from Munich, Germany, who had their city tour in Drachau. In the following pictures, we can see on how actively the brethren were also in participating in the city tour and also learning about the history of the city. Moving forward, we also have the DIY decor crafting in Berlin, Germany. Here, the brethren have gathered together, as you can see in the picture, really active in also creating or DIYing, let's say that, some scented candles. So we can see here that the sister led the DIYing, if that's even a word. But we can also see the happy faces on the participants of that activity. And stay tuned because next week there will be more activities to be shown. So if you have not seen your activity yet, please be tuned in for the next INC Radio Satellite broadcast. All right. And in regards of the activeness, of course, the live chat has been really active once again, as well as last week. So, Kuya Tech, can we kindly show who are the top three clusters?
Third place, Frankfurt Cluster. Second place, Netherlands Cluster. First place, Berlin Cluster.
Congratulations to all the clusters, but of course, everyone is a winner. And I can already see a lot more comments, of course, from top number one, Berlin, but also perhaps Heidelberg will be under the top three. So let's see. And Remark, maybe your cluster will be the next one on the stairs. But nonetheless, of course, I want to greet you first. Thank you so much again to the three of you for joining us tonight and for also sharing your insights, your interesting insights, and also your learnings from the past year that you have also passed on to us now. Not only the viewers and listeners, but also myself. So thank you so much. And yeah, now I want you to give your shout out because we do have some spare minutes to go. So let's start with Randy.
Yeah, I would like to greet my wife Eileen and my two boys, Luis and Rui. Hello, and yeah, to the brethren in the local of Bonn. Hello, everybody.
Hello po to all of the brethren out there. And thank you so much, Randy, for also participating once again tonight. Let's move on to Heidelberg. Henry, perhaps?
Shout out to my wife Rachel watching in the other room, and my daughters Harlan and Rianne. My daughter Harlan is actually off camera, trying to get my attention, but always happy to for them to always want daddy's attention. And shout out to brother Bradley, who's also watching us there, my fellow Hawaii brother. So nice to see fellow Heidelberg always supporting us. Thank you.
Shout out also from my side to them. And also, Mike, do you have some shout outs to do?
Yes, I'd like to shout out my wife Trisha, my kids Zion, Oliver, and Phoebe, all the brethren, Heidelberg, Stuttgart, our cluster, Kaiserslautern. Like to shout out our minister, Brother Ryan Canlas. Hello, Po. Greetings to all, and yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for being here once again. And hopefully, for the next year, perhaps you can show us around a bit in your area. But for more information about that, we will let you know. Nonetheless, we also want to thank the viewers and listeners for watching, also supporting INC Radio Central Europe Satellite Studio every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central European Time. Thank you so much to the District CFO Advisor, Brother Scott Agustin. Thank you po to the Assistant District Minister, Brother Jason Dulalas. Thank you po also to the District Minister, Brother Joe B. Catalan. We also want to give our thankfulness to Brother Montreville Boy from the INC Media Production as a chief, and also Brother Wally Tarai, INC Radio Station Manager. We also want to say thank you to the CFR Coordinator and CEBSI President, Brother Angel Eranio Manalo, and most importantly, thank you to the church administration and our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, for always launching those kind of projects like INC Radio to also keep us edified. So thank you so much for watching us tonight. in INC Radio Central Europe Satellite Studio. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.